Good afternoon. My name is Vicki Geyer, and I'm so sorry that was not able to present to you virtually where you could see me. However, I'm recovering from COVID, and Dennis was so kind to say that I could make a PowerPoint with voiceover, so I could still share some research that has been kind of interesting for me over the past, since 2006, and so I hope that you enjoy my presentation, and I'm going to move on so that we can hopefully cover everything in my 45 minutes. Actually, I have 60 minutes, but I'm not going to be there for the question and answer part, of course. So I also want to say, please feel free to email me if you have any questions or would like to be a co-author and participate in some of my studies. Before I begin today, I want to have an opportunity to have you participate in a little mini experiment. And this will help you see what my participants experienced in this long-term missing person study. What I need you to do, and you need to follow the instructions and be careful not to open or shut your eyes when you're not supposed to, okay? If your name begins with an A through M, you are going to close your eyes. If your first name begins with an N through Z, keep your eyes open. So this only is going to last for a couple of seconds, so if you would please close your eyes if you're supposed to and leave them open at this point. You are now looking at a cold case. This woman has been missing since 2012 and was in a car accident near Kansas City, Missouri. Due to severe head trauma, she suffers from amnesia. This photo was taken of her in 2012, hoping someone will be able to identify her. Take a few seconds and study her face. Okay, now we've come to the part where you're going to close your eyes if your eyes were open first, and open your eyes if your eyes were shut first. So go ahead and do that. And I'm going to switch to the next page. But it's very important, if your eyes were open before, you need to close them. And if your eyes were shut, you need to open them. This is a picture of a missing woman known as Jane Doe, and is believed to be a missing person for a number of years. In 2012, she suffered from head trauma resulting in severe amnesia. We need your help in identifying this woman. Please study her face for a few seconds. Now, I want you to pay attention to this alert, and this is kind of serving as a distraction for you for the study, to be honest. So, but this was actually a research study that I did that has to do with memory of children's faces by adults. Does appearance matter? And I did this with several young children who are around 6, 7, 8 years old. So this is an Amber Alert that has been posted, and it says this girl went missing in 2006 when she was 7 years of age. Take a good look at her face, because you may be asked to try to recognize her now that she's 24 years of age. No taking pictures, please. In addition to doing research for long-term missing people who have lost weight and Amber Alerts, I'm also do studies on Silver Alerts. And a Silver Alert is basically a missing persons alert for a person who is over the age of 60. Some states say 65, but they have the criteria is they have to be in imminent danger, that we know that there's a problem. So for instance, if you have someone with dementia in your family, or in a nursing home, somebody has Alzheimer's, it's very important to keep track of them, because if they go missing, some terrible things happen. I don't even want to discuss the terrible things that's happened. I have quite a few references here talking about recognition of missing people and how it's been an interest for a long time for many researchers, and yet research on face recognition as it pertains specifically to silver alerts is lacking in the literature. This makes me feel really sad, maybe because I'm 68 now and I'm getting to that age where I could be in a silver alert. And I would hate to think that if I went missing, that no one would have a current picture of me to show the police. So always think about that. Think about if you have a loved one who's an older adult, that you should keep a photo handy at all times. In our hypothesis, we looked at several different things. First, we looked to see if participants with experience in contact with older adults would predict the recognition of the missing male target. And our target was 65 years of age. We predicted accuracy and confidence would be low for recognizing the target male in the study. Research has shown that females' faces are more recognized, even by females and males, compared to males identifying another male. We predicted higher prediction of knowing. That means that before you actually see the photos or recognition phase photos, you predict how well you think you will do on an analog scale of 0 to 100. We predicted that there would be differences in the ability to recognize the target based on the participants' age, gender, and race, based on previous research showing biases in recognition for individuals and other groups. For the methodology section, I made this as brief as possible. We did have 712 participants in the study. 499 were women and 213 were men, which is pretty typical in research on college institutions. The average age was 18.8 years old. They self-reported their ethnicity, which the majority were either Caucasian or African Americans. Again, that's pretty normal in the United States, gathering participants from general psychology classes. The methodology, participants watched a silver alert of a target male, immediately followed by a 42-second video of the man walking outside his home. And what he did was he had a pool in the backyard, and his wife was videotaping him as he was cleaning the pool, and they were just chatting like a normal couple would do. The participants afterwards were given a word distractor task consisting of 144 words with sets of 8 words presented in a 2x4 tables for 10 seconds each. The purpose of this was for them to have this task sort of block the memory of the faces that they had seen. The results of our study measured the accuracy of college students in recognizing a missing male senior citizen shown in a mock silver alert. We examined predictions of knowing, confidence levels, participant race, gender, age, experience in contact with older adults, as well as 2 personality traits, empathy and conscientiousness. A large proportion of the participants, 84.9%, correctly recognized the target. The findings suggest that silver alerts can be an effective under certain circumstances. The top 3 pictures shows the man who was missing in this study. The one on the left is, I told you I took a video. This is a still photo from the video that I took when he was outside cleaning his pool. The middle photo is the photo they saw at the beginning of the study, describing his appearance and his eye color and all the rest that they usually put on a missing person alert. And then the last picture is the photo they actually saw in the recognition phase. The ones below are all foil pictures, and foil means that they look either very similar to the person who is missing, or does not look like them at all. So I put Alec Baldwin in there because he's a movie star. Everybody should probably know him. Not everybody outside the United States may be familiar with The Fugitive Teacher, but this is actually a movie now where it shows this older man. He was 50 years old, and he primed a young student and ended up kidnapping her. And if they had watched the movie, they should have recognized him to know that he's not the actual person that's missing. The third person was just a picture I found offline, and the last picture is just a picture I found offline of an actual criminal, to tell you the truth. And then the one that says sample foils, that gentleman is actually my husband. So I wanted to let you see, the types of pictures and the quality of pictures that I had. Just as a brief introduction to long-term missing people, a few studies on face recognition studies look for long-term missing people. They focus on people who go missing, and the participant is shown photos relatively soon after they have seen the alert. So, for instance, one might be in immediate condition with 10 minutes between them seeing the alert and seeing the recognition phases pictures. And then there are other studies that will include different time ranges. So, for instance, immediate, or maybe 3 days later, 7 days later, or a month later. The first study I will briefly talk to you about is how can people recognize a missing person since 2012. In the second study, I will show you some similar results from the missing lady in the long-term study and with our first Amber Alert studies, which I found fascinating. The third study results are Silver Alert studies of missing older adults. In the fourth study, I will present another long-term missing study of a child missing at 7 years of age who is now 24 years of age. All of this will make sense once we get to those slides. It would be interesting to look up the two terms that are used with face recognition. It's either face recognition usually or eyewitness testimony or eyewitness face recognition. I did the word search on either Scholar Google or Science Direct, and you'll notice that the difference with face recognition in Science Direct and Scholar Google versus eyewitness is a huge difference. There's a lot more face recognition studies being conducted these days than eyewitness. So I thought that was interesting to bring out. So again, this is our abstract for the long-term missing person. We investigated the face recognition ability of a missing, long-term missing lady whose missing persons alert photo was either similar or significantly different due to her current weight when she went missing. We manipulated appearance in the alert. For example, you may see the obese person in the study phase and see her at normal weight in the recognition phase, or you may see her both conditions of her being obese, or both conditions of her being normal weight, or her being obese and normal obese. So we have 4 conditions going on. We hypothesized that the recognition of the missing woman would be greater when appearance in the alert matched the appearance at recognition. So a thin photo or an obese person. We would, based on past research, it shows that the more similar that the alert is with the actual person at the time that they're looking for them, is much more successful in finding the person. So I'm going to keep this short as well because this we had so much in the paper. But what you need to know is that we had 732 participants. They range from 18 to 54 years of age with a mean age of 19.62 years, standard deviation of 3.86. The sample included 526, which was 71.9% being female, and 204 or 27.9% as identifying as male. No race or ethnicity differences were found, so we didn't include this in the analysis. Materials: we had 4 missing person alerts of a missing lady. The compassion for others scale, the EAT scale, which is eating attitudes test, the BAOP, the belief about obese persons scale, were used in the study. We had a total of 10 foils that were used in each condition. Now, what's interesting is that we really thought we would find something with some personality tests there, but we ended up not finding anything on that. So actually recognizing the person is what we're really we're looking at in our study. Okay, the procedures for this study for the missing lady, we took participants and they were randomly assigned to one of 4 conditions, whether they were in obese, thin, obese, thin, obese. And after viewing the alert, participants completed the 3 measurement scales, then 24 hours later participated in the recognition phase of the study. And as I mentioned, although none of the psychological measurements differed between the groups, the recognition of the missing lady proved to be very interesting. As hypothesized, those in the same condition and the different condition had a higher recognition rate than those in the before weight loss and after weight loss conditions, and the after weight loss then seeing her before weight loss condition photo. Our results were similar to our Amber Alert studies, where children were presented as either clean, dirty, dirty, clean, 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 or dirty, dirty. Now, what we mean by that is we made their faces, when under dirty, made them look bruised and like dirty hair and sad, like they've been crying. And then the clean condition was like a school photo or maybe a picture they had taken before they went to go out to eat or something like that. So that's what that clean and dirty. Now, these results are all of these results are showing you the results from the long-term missing woman before her surgery, then before, after before, and after. And I want you to note that the before and the after for the percent target recognition, how much higher that was than if they saw a picture of her when she was heavy in the alert and then afterwards saw her as normal or thin. And also, if they saw her after and in the alert, and then when they saw her, she was, morbidly obese, how the recognition phase or the recognition percentages went way down. Same basic thing happened in our Amber Alert studies. Figure 2 shows the mean target confidence. So just, how confident were the people? And you notice that their confidence level didn't really vary a whole lot at all. The third figure shows the mean foil confidence rating, and there was no significance there either. And then for false alarms, you will notice that the blue represents before, and the green, whatever color, that teal color, represents after. And so if they saw the person before, there, again, a significant difference with the after. And then if they showed the after condition, the false alarm rates were not as high. That's what I'm trying to get out. Sorry. Been sick for a while. This is the slide that I'm really excited to show you because it's putting the two studies of Amber Alert and the the missing woman who had the weight loss surgery, and we had the mock alert of her missing for 12 years. So you will see that, again, where we had the clean would be the same as her saying the weight loss surgery being before or after. So when you switch it up and they see the woman morbidly obese and at a later time see her thin, recognition rate, boom, went down. But when they saw her alert with her after photo, after she lost weight, and another photo, not the same photo, but another photo in the recognition phase of her at a normal or thin weight, or heavy, either one goes either way, recognition was a lot better. So I was thrilled to see that it didn't matter the age of the person that goes missing. If it's the closer you can have a photo of someone who may go missing, is very important. And I'll talk about that more in just a couple minutes. Okay, the next slide shows the target woman from the weight loss study before she lost weight and after losing 140 pounds. Would you have been able to recognize the target person after losing 140 pounds? Okay, now you see the picture of Melissa before she lost weight and then after she lost weight. So think about it. If you see some type of alert come on your phone or on TV, how much attention do you actually pay to the person's actual face figures or anything that would really give them away? She lost 140 pounds. It was hard for some of her friends to recognize her after just a short period of time. I think she lost that all within 9 months. So that is quite amazing. There's a little QR code down there that if you're interested in more detail of the results, you can take a picture of that. And you'll also have access to this video. I'm hoping that Dennis is going to post that. And if you take a picture of that, you can see some more results. Okay, do you remember the 7-year-old girl who was in the Amber Alert? I want you to look at the photos now below and put in order which pictures you think that might be her. Or you may find that you don't see her at all in this picture. So just take 5 seconds, look it over, and then write down the order of which ones you think that would actually be the 7-year-old girl who is now 24 years old. So just write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever numbers, but the top 3 are the ones I'm really looking at. I'm going to have to take it off the screen now. Okay, this is a picture of the young girl who went missing when she was 7 years of age. Um, you, you can look at this picture, and if you remember the picture that you picked on the previous slide, maybe you'll be able to figure out how come you picked the person that you did. I do want to tell you, since you've already done the part of picking out who you think she is, she's actually number 1, 3, and 6. Now, if you're looking at those pictures and you're thinking, what are you talking about? Well, big surprise, my oldest grandchild is a transgender male. And the photo of her in the first picture is her senior picture, and she just looked absolutely gorgeous in that senior picture. The minute she went off to college, she decided she had to quit living a lie and has been taking testosterone through a doctor and everything, going through all the right procedures. She's now 24 and has a beard, sometimes a mustache. She's waiting to have some surgeries done because binding is not a very healthy thing to do. I have found this last trip that I saw her, actually her name was Courtney. His name is Elias James, and he goes by Eli. I noticed that at first, when he told me that he was transgender male, I had a terrible time with pronouns. I could say Eli, but I had a terrible time saying pronouns. This last trip, he looked like number 3 picture with the curly hair and the big smile and the beard, and I didn't have any trouble with the pronouns. So that in and of itself could be an interesting study. So anyway, this is the photo that you saw in the beginning, and I would be very curious to know how many of you picked number 3, 1, 3, or 6 as the person in the alert. Okay, these are 2 other examples of a male and a female before and after weight loss. The top picture is a guy named Tom. I actually had weight loss surgery in May of 2012, and a friend of mine who was also having the surgery decided to start a Facebook page. And we currently have something like, I don't know, 149 people that have stayed with it throughout the years. And so I contacted Tom, and Melissa was part of this too, this group. I contacted him and asked if I could use some of his after pictures. So I picked the picture of him in his uniform with his little boy as his before picture. And if you look very closely at him, if you didn't know him, would you recognize him from the alert that would have been sent out to the public of him when he was heavy? Okay, so, and then you can think of it the other way around. What if he had been very, very thin and had gained a significant amount of weight? Would you have been able to say, oh yeah, that's that guy that I saw on the alert? Probably not. The person below is actually me. The heavy picture was taken when I think it was in 2010, and I was at a conference, SEPA, in New Orleans, and it was the week before Mardi Gras, so they had the parades going, and I picked all of these beads up and everything, thought it was funny putting them around my neck, and that my students would get a kick out of it. That was a good before picture for me, and then the 2 pictures, the one in the middle and the one on the right, are also me, and those are at my lowest weight. If you were to see me when I was in my Mardi Gras get up and I was walking around and an alert had been put out, if the alert had been put out of me in the Mardi Gras outfit, would you have recognized me if you had come face to face with me? I don't even know if I would have recognized me because I never would have thought that I would have looked that way. When I came back to school the summer after I had the weight loss surgery, people would walk by me and I would kind of chuckle to myself because I thought they don't recognize me. And then all of a sudden I hear, Dr. Gier? And it always tickled me when that happened because it really proved that I had changed significantly from that surgery. I'm not going to go over this with you because it's on the slide and you'll be able to use this when you use the QR code. Yeah, QR code. I have links to 5 different studies that has to do with silver alert. So if you're interested in helping like the Alzheimer's Foundation and your organization near where you live, you may want to share some of the information that I've learned from these different studies because anytime we can save an older adult who wanders away from their home, who has some type of dementia, it is just so sad. I've done a lot of research on missing people, and reading articles in the newspaper has just been so disheartening, where they find, in the middle of the winter, they walked out in their robe or their pajamas, or sometimes nothing at all, and they're found just not very far from their home, frozen to death. And then there's others that were actually still able to drive, scary as that is, and get lost easy. I get lost all the time, and I'm 68, so I can't imagine people in their 80s and 90s still driving, how hard that must be. So we really need to have a better way of recognizing people that we know or don't know in an alert. One thing I want to say is that you should take multiple pictures of your family members, both young, middle-aged, and older. Often. Take them often. There's no reason not to have plenty of current photos of people that you love who may go missing, either whether it's from dementia or if it's a child maybe perhaps who gets lost or is abducted by somebody. There's lots of reasons why people go missing. But if we have a current photo of them, for instance, I tell my students all the time, as many pictures of you take of yourself in your car or at home when you're dressed up and all pretty and getting ready to go out and party, if you are a mother or a significant other, and you have a young child in your family, why not take a photo of that child every morning that they go to school? Then if the child goes missing at noon because somebody said that they were a relative and had to rush the child to the hospital to see the relative because they'd been in an accident, the police would have the current photo of the child in the exact clothes that they had on that day. And that is the biggest gift I think that you can give someone that you love. I listed the most popular of the face recognition studies that I have used over the years. There are so many that it would take up pages to do all of them, and I think I have just this one page, but you can see there's several references to that. If you are interested in my articles, a lot of them are online and available in PDF form where you can get it, or if you're attached to a university, you can oftentimes go through your university library and get the article for free. Or you can email me at vsg16@msstate.edu, and I will be happy to send a copy of the article. I want to thank you for attending my presentation, and I want to thank Rona and Jennifer and Dave Kreiner from the University of Central Missouri for helping me collect the data for the long-term missing person study. If there are any of you who are at a university who would like to help out in my study of the missing male alert, I would really welcome your students to participate in the study. We can talk about how to go about doing it. I would make it relatively short, where the first part would take maybe 5 minutes. The second part would take maybe 15 minutes. If you could possibly doing it during your class, that would be great if everybody has a computer. If not, if there's a computer lab, perhaps maybe one of your seniors might like to, help you out on this, and they could kind of proctor them while they're in the lab to make sure they're not cheating and trying to look back at the pictures, or taking pictures of the photos that they know that they're going to have to be remembering. That's one reason it's good to do it in class, because if you do it in class for the recognition phase, you have the link. They won't have the link to that. They will receive a different link that will take them to a program called SONA, which is on our campus, which I have no idea. I use SONA to sign people up, but for other people from other countries or other universities, I use Qualtrics, and there's no way that I can identify the person. They'd have to write their name in there for me to know what they are or where they're from. What I do want to know is if they will let me know what their gender is, or what gender they identify with, their age, and their ethnicity, because I'm always looking to see if I can find an other race effect or same race effect in these studies. And for some reason, it doesn't show up a lot. Maybe it's because I live in Mississippi. Mississippi has more African American students and tan people from different countries that are darker skinned than Caucasians, and perhaps maybe that's why I'm not finding any differences. But if there's a country who has more people who are, for instance, from the Philippines or from Vietnam or any Malaysia or Asian countries, anywhere at all, Japan, anywhere, that would be great if we could find out if there are some ethnicity and race differences with this study. So I thank you. I wished I was there to take your questions, but I'm recovering from COVID, and it's been a struggle kind of getting through this. And on the other hand, I've enjoyed every bit of it. I hope you will invite me back again next year. Have a wonderful day, and please stay healthy. Bye-bye.